When it comes to video games, unless you're a very bad egg and get your titles off naughty websites without paying a thing, chances are you have to cough up the pennies to get the experience, much like a cozy night with Jules. $60 price tags are bad enough, but sometimes publishers try their luck and attempt to squeeze that little bit more out of you. It could be loot boxes, DLCs, or other bits and pieces to add to the experience, or it could be through the most ridiculous way imaginable. I'm Rich from WhatCulture Gaming, and these are the 6 dumbest ways video game publishers try to get your money. Number 6, Nintendo Switch Online. Now, this one might seem a bit odd, because paying for online multiplayer has been the norm for console gamers for years now. PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live require a subscription to play online, but you do get all the extra goodies like monthly games for coughing up to use your own internet connection. On the other hand, since their mainstream online services first went live with the DS back in 2004, Nintendo's online capabilities have been free. This year, however, Nintendo suddenly plonked a paywall down. The big question on most players' minds is, why? Why suddenly whack a price tag on something that's been free for 14 years and get not a huge amount back in return? Access to a constantly growing of NES titles is great, but adding expected features for a modern game system behind a paywall, it's downright idiotic. Cloud saves that don't work for every title due to fears of cheating? There's really not enough here to justify paying for the service unless you're dying to get your Splatoon fix, and it's safe to say that Inkopolis has been pretty barren since the launch of Nintendo Switch Online. Nicely done, Nintendo. Nicely done. Number 5, PUBG's Sanhok Event Pass. PUBG might have been first to the punch for big battle royale, but it's Fortnite now leading the pack. Since the latter is a free-to-play title, the idea of popping microtransactions in was simply expected. Adding a ton of progression and exclusive cosmetics under a battle pass banner was a clever inclusion to keep the millions of players coughing up from season to season. However, when PUBG attempted it alongside the release of the title's third map, it didn't go as well. Since PUBG isn't free-to-play, adding progression under another paywall didn't sit well with the fans. Even worse, in an attempt to coerce players into purchasing said pass, everyone would have access to this progression, cosmetics, and challenges, but nothing actually stuck unless you bought the pass. That flash skirt you got for leveling up? Gone. Optimization was still a big problem for PUBG at this point, so the fact that PUBG Corp seemed more invested in in-game purchases than actually fixing their game caused a lot of people to never board that plane at the beginning of a round. Whether we see a new pass in the future, we'll wait and see. Number 4, Rollercoaster Tycoon switches crowdfunding campaign. Since 2004's spectacular third game in the series, the Rollercoaster Tycoon franchise has been rolling down a vertical drop ever since. Tycoon 4 Mobile was a greedy cash-in, Tycoon World was a laughable mess, then Atari went and asked their near non-existent fanbase to fund their next project, a port of the moderately successful Rollercoaster Tycoon Touch from mobiles to the Switch. However, this wasn't your bog-standard crowdfunding campaign. This was an investment. Quite literally an investment. Irrelevant of how much money you put into this title, you got very little back. From the minimum investment of $250, you got some money back in profit, if it does profit, but only for a short time. $750 gets you a 25% discount on the completed game, and $1,500 gets you all the previous rewards, plus a $40 art book. That's it. Not even a copy of the game. Just to hammer home that throwing your money at Atari in this instance was a bad idea, reading into the fine print of this whole debacle revealed that it wasn't even guaranteed that your money would be going into Tycoon Switch. It could have been going into replacing the bog rolls for the toilets in the lean-to shed Atari calls their office. Number 3, Mass Effect Andromeda Special Edition not even coming with the game. Special editions, as much as most of the time they're cheap plastic tap priced way above what it should be, are overall pretty great. I mean, look at this Juggernog fridge from Black Ops 3. Oh, I need it. Sometimes, however, these special editions don't exactly output the same amount of joy as the publishers would like to think. Take Mass Effect Andromeda, for example. The shambles of a title aside, the special edition featuring a remote control Nomad ND1 looked pretty sweet on paper, but after coughing up 60 quid for it, you might have realized that this special edition doesn't even come with the game. I mean, come on, this isn't even branded as a bit of merchandise. This is a Mass Effect Andromeda Collector's Edition. Jesus, EA, you really pulled a fast one here. You'd be led to believe that you'd be getting a copy of Andromeda since it advertises a steelbook, but it turns out you have to supply the game yourself. Imagine if you're a parent having bought this for your kid for Christmas, only for your son or daughter to open the steelbook and think, oh, mum and dad have hidden the disc, it's somewhere, where is it? All the while, you're looking at your significant other wondering what on earth just happened. Number 2, the entire architecture of NBA 2K19. An unfortunate consequence of modern gaming, quoth Rob Jones, senior producer on NBA 2K19. 2K have been in a rather scorching spotlight recently after they tried to coerce their Belgian audience into telling their government that recently banned loot boxes that loot boxes are okay. But this particular blatant grab at players' pockets wasn't confined to only Belgium. This was 2K's attempt to get the entire planet by the bollocks. We've seen it before in the likes of the catastrophic cock-up that was Star Wars Battlefront 2, but NBA 2K19 is the most recent of many. Yes, you can unlock everything through progression, but we've made it bastard hard to do it unless you're putting hundreds upon hundreds of hours into the game, therefore pushing you toward buying in-game currency to make it all go faster. Stop. It's not an unfortunate consequence, you're willingly putting that system there. Again, stop. NBA 2K19 still reviewed pretty well, but there was that glaring flaw that this whole game was based around pushing you towards paying them. Don't do it. Number 1. Dying Light's My Apocalypse Special Edition. I've already mentioned special editions on this list. We've seen some tat priced at ridiculous amounts, but now let's look at ridiculous tat priced at even more ridiculous amounts. Dying Light is excellent. Zombies, parkour, it's just cool. So what do you get with this special edition of Dying Light? A severed arm on a plinth? Some drink coasters? Set you back like 79 quid? No, you get a house. Oh, and it costs you £250,000. Pocket money. Unlike Mass Effect Andromeda's remote-controlled TAT edition coming with about 0 copies of the game, this My Apocalypse edition of Dying Light comes with 4 signed copies of the game for Xbox One, all of them steelbooks. Not only that, you get a zombie-proof shelter thing, 2 Razer gaming headsets, parkour lessons, a life-size zombie statue, your face in the game, a trip to Techland Studios to play the game with the devs, and best of all, where I guess the majority of this £250,000 goes, a pair of night vision goggles, and I'm not even kidding, adult nappies. Or diapers if you're American, we call them nappies. Sure, most of this stuff is pretty ridiculous, but even for £250,000 you get some pretty amazing goodies. Surprisingly, no one's actually bought it yet, and it's still available, so if you are the poor sod who ends up coughing up for this, you'll be laughing when the apocalypse happens, because you'll have a zombie-proof house and some nappies. That's all folks, don't forget to subscribe to WhatCulture Gaming, we have new videos every day, so we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.